Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Sometimes when I go out to photograph the sunrise, I pick a composition that I like and I stick with it from well before the sun puts in an appearance right through to when the good light is gone and it's time to pack up and head for home. I might change the composition a little bit to allow for changes in the conditions, but it will be essentially the same scene from start to finish. What this means is that when I start to review my images, I may have 2 or 3 identical or very similar compositions taken throughout the morning, but they will have very different light, very different colour and very different mood. It can take me weeks or even months to decide on a favourite, if I ever do. So what I do, assuming the images are good enough, is I share them all and I let people make up their own minds what they prefer. Personal taste is a big factor in deciding if you like an image or not, and beauty is, after all, in the eye of the beholder. I hope you enjoyed the video. Good morning everyone. It's half an hour before sunrise and there's quite a lot of cloud around, particularly over in the direction of sunrise, which is over there behind me. I'm using a torch to try and illuminate my face so you can see me, because it's actually really dark here. Always one of the challenges with doing an early morning shoot is quite often when you actually come and set up, it's actually too dark to do the video. I've come up onto the rocky beach and I've already set a composition up which I'll try and talk you through. Okay, so I've got my camera set up down in the rock pool, got the large rocks in the foreground. Behind that we've got the sea, and then over in the distance we've got the mountains and obviously the sky where the sun's going to be rising. I'm shooting 16mm. F11 and 30 seconds from my first shot, and we'll just see how that comes out. Okay, took my first shot at 30 seconds. And it looks quite nice. I've now dropped in a 2-stop hard-edged ND grad because the sky is getting a bit brighter and it's just blowing out. And I've done a second shot, also at 30 seconds. Just kind of working with the changing conditions. Just going to be a case of seeing what happens, really. Well, I've got this set up, I'm planning on cropping probably 16:9, taking out a bit of the foreground, a bit of the sky. So we're still about 10 minutes from actual sunrise. There's some quite nice sort of pastel-y tones up there. But I do just feel that a little bit earlier when I first arrived that looked nicer. I've just been playing around, I've brought the ISO down to the low 1 setting to keep extending my exposure, just to flatten out that sea because it doesn't look all that interesting out there. There's a whole bunch of people over here behind me doing a bit of early morning fishing. It's a lovely morning. Because I'm actually standing in the rock pool, one of the things I'm having to do is every time I move around I have to wait a little while before I take a shot, because I want the ripples that I've created by moving around to disappear. Beautiful morning though. Okay, we're getting some really nice kind of ray type shapes in the sky, and I've adjusted my composition a little bit to make the most of those. Just angled the camera a little bit further round to the right and angled up a little bit more to give me more room to get those in the sky. At the moment I'm shooting the ISO on the low 1 setting, f16 and 5 seconds, still trying to extend the exposure, but I'm thinking I might try something different. The sun is due to rise in about 3 minutes, and that'll probably be a little bit later because it's coming up behind the mountains. Okay, to try and keep a long exposure, I've gone back to ISO 64, f11. That was letting me get 1 second. I've dropped in a 6-stop ND filter, which will give me 1 minute, and I'm just exposing that now to see what it looks like. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Everything's nicely flattened out. We'll see what it looks like when we get it back on the computer. So we are getting some rays coming out of the top of the cloud now. It's a shame, the cloud's a bit over one side. There's not quite enough over the other side to balance the image as much as I would like. I might actually just shift my composition slightly. Okay, I shifted the camera a little bit to the left, just so that I can adjust my composition to try and get a little bit more balance between the rocks and the clouds. That is putting the sun pretty much, or where the sun's rising, pretty much in the centre of the frame. There's a bright spot there, but that's okay. Okay, so I quickly pulled the 6-stop ND filter out, and I'm just taking a couple of shots with the sun just as it's breaking through the cloud at f16, 1/6 of a second. Not going to get a sun star in there because there's too much haze, I think, but always worth a try. Okay, the sun is now breaking over the top of the cloud there, and for me I think that's going to be it all over. Okay, 25 minutes now after sunrise, and it's all over for me now. That sun's getting really bright, so it's time to head for home, empty some of the salt water out of my boots and try to get them dry. Clean the salt water off of the tripod legs and see what kind of images I've got. Hopefully got something interesting. It's a nice morning, beautiful sunrise, even if the sun was a bit late appearing through those clouds. If you've enjoyed this video and you're not already a subscriber, then please consider hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber, thank you very much, I appreciate that. Of course, if you've enjoyed this video, you could also consider giving it a like or a share or both. And I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, so thank you very much. And until the next video, bye.